Remember of the atmosphere on the way to the stadium ahead of the final?
Well, it was electric. You can imagine the whole country was talking about nothing else, and we had to play against West Germany. We'd seen the semi-final when they beat Russia, and we'd done our homework and we'd seen the German. We knew what the qualities were, but we also thought that we had a chance of beating them. Going to the match, trying to pass the time on. You've not been with your family. You're with the players all the time. You're training all the time. You're maybe talking a little bit to the media, but other than on the phone, you never saw your family. And suddenly, we were going to see our family after about 3 weeks. You know, we were going to see them, and Ray Wilson and I went into Golders Green to buy new shirt and tie for the dinner afterwards, the official dinner, and of course in the shops everybody was saying, you know, all the best this afternoon, Bobby, all the best, Ray, you know, and we'll be watching you, you know. And then we got on the bus to go, and as we were going to Wembley through Hendon, you go through the side streets to get to Wembley, and everybody's out, you know, they're all waving. The fire engines were out at Hendon, they're all ringing the bells, and it was great atmosphere, and but that's about all I remember. I don't remember thinking that much about it, because the minds were also on, you know, we must win the game, and we're talking about the game, and we went through all the rigmarole of pandering to people's superstitions that everything had to be the same as it had been the day before. I carried his bag, you know, I sat in that position or whatever. I went out fifth instead of sixth. It was crazy. Footballers have superstitions. But going to the game was my mind, I think, in most of the players' minds were filled. I can't remember talking on the bus with anybody, really. I think by then you'd learn, and everybody was just quiet and maybe giving little waves to people outside. But the big thing was the game and winning the game. We'd done our homework, we'd done our team talk, we'd gone through everything that we had to talk about. We were familiar with all the dangerous elements of the German team. I was told that I had to go with Franz Beckenbauer all the time. I had to stick with him. He was a really dangerous player who could really do us more damage than any other player on the field. So I was told that if I could go with him and stick with him, it would negate a lot of their play, and I thought that we had the best goalkeeper. I thought we had the best defenders, and I thought all things being equal, you know, we could win, and we should win, and we were favourites, and we played in the match. We were the best team, but there was all sorts of controversies. You know, we had Ray Wilson. The first 15 minutes or so, I think Ray Wilson headed a ball back, which the first mistake maybe he'd made in the whole of the World Cup tournament, and he headed a ball that didn't get where it should have gone. It fell to Haller, and Helmut Haller knocked the ball in past Gordon Banks, and the first thing I thought about, well, I won't say what I actually said, but I thought, well, this was not planned, but at least it's happened early enough, you know. At least it's early enough. You can do something about it. And then, but it's tough at international level, and you're playing against the top teams in the world. They don't make mistakes, so you have to think about going forward a little bit more. And Bobby, there was a foul on Bobby Moore, and he picked himself up. He put the ball down, and he knocked this ball into Jeff Hurst, and for some reason it was just too quick for the Germans. They didn't take up the positions or anything, and Jeff Hurst had a free header, and down in the bottom corner, sort of 1-1. Right, you know, we're back in it now. And then in the second half, Jeff Hurst had a shot blocked. He would have never scored with a shot, but never mind, it was blocked, and it just flew up, and it was landing right in a dangerous area. And I could see my brother Jack, and I could see Martin Peters, and I could see two fullbacks on the line, and none of the fullbacks came to attack the ball. They seemed to freeze on the line, and I thought of Martin Peters, and Martin Peters hit it, and all he had to do was to keep it down, and he kept it down, and it flew in. You know, wow, you know, we're in front. This is where we wanted to be. We're in front. So try not to make any mistakes. Keep marking our men, doing everything that we're supposed to do. And then Jack gave a free kick away, which I didn't think was a free kick, but it was awarded against him, and the ball was knocked in, and there seemed to be 100 people in the box. And then suddenly, and it's bouncing around, and it comes, and I couldn't believe it. The right back, I'm not certain of his name, slid the ball inside the post, and I thought. I said, well, it's done. It's done. Let's get back on. We've still got time. I was saying to myself, we've still got time to win this game. And then as soon as we kicked off, we blew for full time. I was convinced we had about 15 minutes left to play. But you at that sort of level with your concentration, you don't have time to look across. How much have we got, boss? How many? And for them to put 3 or 4 or 5 minutes up, and I never even looked across. And I thought there was at least 10 minutes to go, and I couldn't believe it. So they had equalised literally at the last kick of the game. So then Alf got us, and then we were watching, and they were tired. The Germans were tired, and you could see that the way that they were lying around. And Alf got us all to stand up. We'll have to start again. Start from scratch. Off we go. We've keep yourself loose. Don't let yourself get stiff, etc. We'll have to do it again, and then. In probably the most controversial goal ever scored in a World Cup happened. Alan Ball got Nobby Stiles knocked the ball down. Alan Ball, he squared it. Jeff Hurst turned, hit it. It hit the bar, and I'm running behind, and when the square posts, you think, well, And I thought, well, that's in. That's gone in. And I was inflamed when I saw the linesman had his flag up, and I thought, he's disallowed this, And he wasn't disallowing it, he was putting his flag up to say, yeah, it was in. But all the Germans, they went mad. But Roger Hunt said, I saw it and it was in, And it shows afterwards when you see all these freeze frames, you see the ball drop down and that. But it doesn't mean to say that it hasn't crossed the line, Out it could have come. But without that, we were on the offensive, and we were creating chances, and we were a better team. We were the better team on the day. That controversial goal clouds all the issues. It sort of lets the German team off as well. If it hadn't been for that goal, Germany would have won, which is a nonsense. They would not have won. We were a better team than them, and even Franz Beckenbauer tell you that today. He's told me many times that we would have won anyway. We were a better team. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter because we did score another goal, which tended to lessen the controversy a little bit. But we scored. Jeff Hurst went through and scored, and suddenly the whistle went, and I got really emotional. I started thinking about when I was a little lad, and I used to dream about being a footballer. And I used to think about the fans and that. Look at them, and listen to them. It was just magic, and I broke down. I was just. I think as maybe when the whistle went, and all the nerves and all the concentration, and everything that had gone into it, it suddenly released, and I couldn't help it. I'm not ashamed of it either. I've never ever cried when we lose. Never cried when we lose, but I don't mind crying when we win. I don't mind seeing anybody. I cry if I see somebody win 100 yards and they've got the Union Jack on. Anything like that.